Got a little song called If You Want to Get to Heaven, Gotta Raise a Little Hell. Come on, sing.
Hey, Color Me Dad is a podcast about anything we think is interesting or funny, including lots of music and pop culture discussion, and of course dadisms ad-libbed by us, three friends who have cracked each other up for the last 25 years. This episode's about our home state of West Virginia. Please enjoy Wild and Responsible.
Show, but I heard it in the alley on the weird radio. If you want a drink of water, you got to get it from a well. If you want to get to heaven, you got to raise a little hell.
This episode's brought to you by
West Virginia State Board of Tourism.
And Taco Bell, with over 18,000 locations, some are open for breakfast. Give it a shot.
you might find one. A few times and then you bring him on. I think that's hilarious.
Kristen's sister was over there. Like, I came home one day and Kristen was doing her sister's hair.
Kristen's sister. All the
I came home one day and Kristen's doing her sister's hair, and they were listening to the podcast. Like, while they were doing hair, and this was like when it first came out, and she was like, "When are y'all going to talk about coffee?"
It's on in all the salons.
Do you know what I keep hearing from
that?
every person? And this has been at least 3 people now.
What's that?
That are not like, and not people that are like my wife and stuff. The common thing so far that I've heard from numerous people is when they listen to the show, they talk to it. Like, they talk back. Like, they're in the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny to me, is because I'm like, as I listen to some, like, are we the only people that think this is funny, or who would even care about this? But then I realized, like, a lot of my favorite shows, I don't know these people, and it's just dudes
you feel
talking
like you
about
do.
But after a
different.
while,
Absolutely.
After
Like,
a while, you feel like you know them.
I listen to these guys, this one particular, like, every single morning for the first 2 hours of my day, every morning, and I
don't think it's different than watching Conan every day. You feel like I know Conan. I would hang out with him.
I think it's way more personal than that
that was
because
the appeal.
Conan's not telling you about what happened when he went to the grocery.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's
agree.
I think it's more personal.
That was the appeal of the show Friends. Everybody that loved that show thought those people were their friends. They were
Right.
intimately invested in their lives and their stories.
You were the only one.
No, I was not alone in that.
You were the only one of us. We all knew that was.
I mean, I was alive in 1996.
I
I actually watched the Friends reunion on HBO.
terrible
It
song.
was
It's not a
awful.
terrible
It's a
song.
terrible
It's a good
song.
song.
You want to talk about being?
It's got that Roxette guitar tone.
It does have that. Yeah. You want to talk about having an old and tired song after hearing it 100,000 times.
I mean, well, no, sure, but I'm just saying, in terms of a pop song.
I bet you that is still putting dinner on their tables right now.
No kidding.
You get residuals forever for doing something like that.
Yeah.
You're a guest star on that show. You get a little money every time it plays.
I watched the Friends reunion on. It's on. Well, I have HBO Max, and that's on there along with the Fresh Prince reunion.
What did you think about the Friends reunion?
It was funny in the sense that, like, the most attractive character on there, Joey, is fat and gray haired now.
But you know what? He looks natural. You can tell he's had no work done. He's like, I got millions of dollars. I don't care. I got a wife.
That was scary to say.
Well, Joey's still on TV, though, still doing stuff.
Is he?
Chandler looks the worst,
Well,
and
he
he's the one that's got
awful.
real problems.
Well,
going
wait,
on.
I'm getting to that. Joey is fat and got gray hair, and it's funny when they show clips of him of how he used to look. But yeah, I agree with
He's
you.
like wincing at him. Like,
No, you could tell he is completely secure with who he is.
Yep, right.
sure,
right.
because
Chandler,
multi-millionaire.
you can tell, has had a lot of plastic surgery.
He looks like he's smiling even when he's not. It was really
and
bad.
I'm very happy to be here.
He did not want to be there. That was the impression I got. Is like he was like snarky, but not in a funny way, and like I could tell that he was like, "This is
Could
I'm
I
only
be any more drunk right now?
Could I be any more pathetic getting on this show after being off of it for 15 years?
You could tell he was only there because they paid him money he couldn't turn down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nobody could turn that down. I'm sure it was $1 million.
And they like reenacted scenes. Like
I could turn
it was
that
really
down on my TV.
a lot
Play
of
down.
a lot of it was like super cringe. Like they would like do table reads of like the first time that Monica and or not Monica, Rachel and Ross kissed.
They were on a break.
Yeah, they did that one. Now, the Fresh
should go
Prince
on a
one
break.
was actually very interesting. Either one of you guys watch that show very much?
What is it?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
No, I'm sorry.
There was a reunion for that one, too.
Yeah.
They had the original Aunt Viv on there. It was
The
Yeah.
original Aunt Viv? Did it
And
all
there's
get real
drama,
icy?
dude.
And
There's drama, dude. Like, yeah, she was like
They cut
the
her out
original
of it.
got fired, and it was because she didn't get along with Will Smith, and he kind of
That's
and it was
not completely why.
well,
She
I
got
mean, that's
pregnant.
like right, but that's like kind of like a lot of they had beef, as they say.
Yeah, and-
so there was like a sit down with him of being like, hey, you treated me like this. when
Did you see
treated
it?
me like-" I read about it.
Yeah, she was not on like the set with everybody else. Like second Aunt Viv was, or they eventually brought her out, but they did an interview with Will
She's
Smith.
the OG Aunt Viv.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
She's the goat.
I love Will Smith, but I cannot look at him the same way now after the Chris Rock smack.
Yeah, you can't
I just let all
can't
this
slap
stuff.
Chris Rock, man.
It's funny. I just let all this stuff go by. I really do. I see all the chatter about it, and I'm like, oh.
I don't know.
Hit Chris
I
Rock,
love
whatever.
Will Smith, but now like you just ruined your nice guy image. You just look insane.
There's so much wrong with it. There's so much wrong with it. Like there's just multiple reasons why you can't do what he did.
Well, yeah, because
And there's kind of only one.
could you imagine if a regular dude got up on stage and smacked Chris Rock? They would have killed him. Or at the very least, he got arrested. He went up later and accepted an award.
I think most people there. I think most people
Sorry about that
there,
smack, though.
if they would have done that, they would have been arrested on the spot. I mean, the guy went on to get the biggest award of the evening.
Yeah, that's my point.
He went to the after party. He danced. He was praised. He got a standing ovation after when he went up to accept that award. It's real weird, but there's a little bit of a smidget of
I thought it was fake.
yeah. There
It's
was
all
a lot of,
fake. There's no question all that's fake. They
there
plan
was a
all that
little
stuff.
bit of a smidget of, well, what would you do if someone was talking about saying something that offensive about your wife?
If it was really that big of a deal, you would have handled it after the show. There's
Sure.
plenty of opportunity to do
The
that.
proper-
Am
the
I hearing
proper
that you guys
thing-
think it could have been totally staged and planned?
Yes.
Like, because you have to have a viral moment. You can't just have a show; it'd be boring. You
Nobody
gotta
stops him from going on stage in the middle of the Oscars and smacking the crap out of Chris Rock.
But neither one of those dudes needed the viral video. I mean, let's be honest.
But
Neither
the
one.
event probably did. You know?
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, those shows are hurting now. Like no one, no one stays at home and watches those shows anymore like they did for
Right.
decades and
Right.
decades. They're not a big deal. Who cares?
And that brings me back to us doing a play-by-play of the Oscars when that comes around again. When is that?
I think we should do something like that.
I really would like to have like dress-up ties for the promo picture.
I would
and, like,
rather. I would still
butcher
rather
the Oscars.
I would still rather do the commentary on Fast and Furious.
We're gonna do that too. We need to do all of it.
I mean, I don't know why. Like,
Plenty
I
of
would
years
want
left
to
to
put
live.
myself through that, but
It's like eating dog biscuits. I mean, you just gotta take a bite and let the listener know.
and gag when Doug spits it back on a plate in front of you. Disgusting.
Oh, hello, sweetheart.
We have another guest here today.
Another famous to us.
Yeah.
She's just in the cast at this point.
At this point, she's in pictures and
The honorary
everything.
fourth member.
Ah, sweetheart.
Yoko.
Yeah, we're doing current events now on Color Me Dad. We've really laid it down.
This
I mean-
baby's the reason the show's failing.
Yeah, you introduce a baby to keep it fresh. That's what they did in the 80s. The Cosby, little Cosby kids, well, we got to have a cousin Oliver. That was the first one.
Or
of that.
actually, our logo, Family Ties, they introduced a kid there too.
They did have another kid. That's right, because it's like
what
they didn't
is
have
it?
enough all moments.
I don't remember much about Family Ties other than
Okay.
is it Alex P. Keaton? Was that his name?
Alex P. Keaton.
I remember him being like super Republican guy.
That was his. Yeah, that was his
And
shtick.
that's all I really remember.
And then
His parents
now,
were like liberal hippies.
right,
Ah, gotcha.
and he turned against them. So it was like a, backwards of what was happening, in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it's also funny because it's the opposite of what you would think of the rebellion of the teenage
Exactly.
rebellion.
Yeah. In the '60s, it was like, "Don't tell me I'm gonna take my bra off and burn it."
Right.
And then Alex P. Keaton's like, taxes.
But look at the culture
lower
of the
the
80s.
taxes.
The whole people were getting very, very rich in the stock market and bonds and all that kind of stuff, and that was like the thing he was. He was a financial guy, so that was like the cool kind of yuppie thing to do. That's what he was like a caricature of that.
He was on the one of not the latest, but actually it might have been 2 ago. He was on one of the later seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, was he?
Larry ended up moving downstairs from him, and of course, chaos ensued because it was Larry couldn't decipher if he was dealing with Michael J. Fox being a jerk to him, or if all these things were related to his Parkinson's.
So that was part of the show.
Genius.
It's pretty genius.
Very,
yeah.
very good.
That's funny.
Such a great show, man.
So he didn't want to say anything about it because
He was just questioning Michael J. Fox at one point gives him they're already at each other's throats, and really just you can tell they don't like each other, and at one point he hands him a Coke, and the Coke explodes all over Larry. He's like, "Was that a Parkinson's shake?"
Oh no,
Larry, it's my Parkinson's. I can't help it.
I can't help it.
I think it's cool. He's a good sport about it enough to go on the show and do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I think he did things that fit in with it. That
Right.
worked with it.
He's gonna.
It's gonna have to.
Well, no, he was public about taking a lot of medication to be on Spin City at the time.
Oh, okay.
He took a lot of medication. He said. I think that was the show.
Well, that's like the end of Bruce Willis. All that recent stuff coming up where he's not able to.
I didn't know that.
Actually, he has.
He has some disease that makes it really hard for him to remember stuff and
or even kind of even speak and stuff. Like they were saying, the last flick that he just filmed that's either about to come out or recently come out. There's people coming out now being it was an absolute nightmare.
It was not.
And other people coming forward now being even a couple of years ago it was rough, and he's had to bail out.
That's sad.
but he still looks cool.
Yeah, we
That's
love
why-
Bruce Willis, man.
That's why
now
he's
we're back
in movies.
now we're back to Friends
Just
and
shows you,
residuals.
man, all those people, those people are just like us. At the end of the day, they just, a lot happier.
Poop in the shower and stomp it down, right? I know just what you mean.
A lot happier because they don't have to worry about.
Speaking of which,
I'm just kidding.
that my daughter thought that was a good idea the other day. I was taking her diaper off, and I was not expecting her to be pooping in it. And I went to, you always open it up and peek in and see what it is. And I made the mistake of doing that without being completely prepared. And she just is stomp, stomp, stomp. And it's all over her
Poop,
feet.
stomp, clap.
Wow.
Yeah. It's all over her heels, on her feet, up the back of her legs.
Kick up in heels.
She's very popular now.
There's poop on them.
Poop, stomp, clap. Yeah, man, you questioned me on Jayhawks the other day. That's crazy.
Well, I didn't.
love the
I thought that
Jayhawks.
was a new thing.
I've never heard of them.
No, I picked up the Jayhawks. I picked up the Jayhawks after Half the World.
You questioned me about Blackhawk.
Yeah, I thought you were kidding.
Nah, dude.
It's very 80s country.
80s and 90s country, man, I'm all about because I'm immediately back in my dad's S10 going to baseball practice.
I can see that. There's a lot of things that I don't necessarily like. If they were new today, I probably wouldn't like them, but they do remind me of when I was younger. But no, the Jayhawks I picked up in I remember we were just married, so it was probably 2002. And they were on, what's that show everybody's on? They play live.
Cops.
No, yeah. No, Austin City Limits.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, we're on Austin City Limits, and back then I would just tune in every Saturday to see who it was, and I picked up several artists that I had never heard of.
There's a good chance you'll see somebody cool in there. Always.
Yeah, Kathleen Edwards is her name.
Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Yeah, she's from Canada, and she dated the Bon Iver guy. And
Oh, yeah.
the big album he wrote was basically about her crushing his soul or
What's
whatever.
her name, Kathleen?
Kathleen Edwards, and she is a Canadian female Tom Petty, essentially. Her music sounds exactly.
I'm amazed at the amount.
She's attractive.
No, I don't mean she looks like him. That's not what I mean. Musically, she's kind of like Sheryl Crow a little bit, but not less Sheryl Crow, more Tom Petty.
Sheryl Crow's attractive.
I don't know what
I'm
happens.
not talking about her looks at all. I'm talking
But why else would you listen to her?
because I really like several songs
Yeah, she has
on
a
that. There's an album called Back to Me that I like half the songs on it. It's pretty
There is a
But we've
lot
been
of
through
good
this.
artists that come out of Canada.
Only teasing.
yeah, Always is a band I've been listening to.
There's
a
a
lot.
ton of them.
You should listen to Sloan because they're the best thing that Canada has
Are they?
given us.
I have listened to Sloan. You've shared Sloan with me, and I've given it the proper attention. Nothing's hung in there where I want to go back to it, like the Helicopters, which I'm all in on. Every now and then, I just like, I want to listen to that.
No, Now's not from Canada.
No, they're from Minneapolis.
There's a bunch of cool artists from Canada.
There's a really cool Whiskey Town performance from an old Austin City Limits. It's on YouTube.
And Bryan Adams is in it.
Ryan Adams.
Oh, Ryan Adams.
Whatever.
I don't know who.
Ryan Adams. I think they're just.
Brian Adams is from Canada.
Yes, I know.
Ryan Adams is from.
Well, he's from nowhere now. He's
It's the Carolinas.
Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams is one of the biggest artists for decades and decades, but he got canceled like a year ago.
He was way into like bugging women or bothering women.
Was he the one that Phoebe Bridgers wrote an album
that's
about?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
He was one of the reasons why what Wes was talking about kind of started rumbling, because he was the king of the alternative country.
Alt country.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't listen to him.
See, I looked back in the early '90s. The Jayhawks played on Letterman, and they played "Blue." You guys ever heard that song?
I've never listened to a single Jayhawk song.
"Blue" is a great song, and that was to me, I can't find anything earlier that's alt country. To me, that's the very first thing. And before that, you had the Replacements doing "Aching to Be," and that was probably the origin almost of alt country.
I think a lot of stuff gets thrown in, and including Ryan Adams. When I say this, a lot of stuff gets thrown on to that whole alt country thing that it's not alt country.
Alt country is too close to actual country, which I hate, so I don't listen to any of that.
Boy, she's trying to stay awake.
She fights it.
It's tough listening to us.
Yeah, we're probably helping. Let me talk more about the Jayhawks, and she'll be right.
You got
to
us or a thunderstorm. See which one helps you stay awake.
She's into the mode now where, like, I was telling him earlier, if it's the context of bedtime, she's out. If it's a nap, then she fights it like. I think the fact that she is aware of things now, she's afraid that if I go to sleep, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna miss it. She does this thing now where, like, if I feed her, like, she'll contort her neck to where she's turned around to look at the television.
I gotta see.
She's a big
Linda
fan
Blair,
of
Linda Blair thing.
Yeah.
yeah. She's a big fan of Bluey. So I've turned her on to that.
Isn't? Guys, did you watch the thing that I sent you before it got copyright?
No, the minute I clicked on it, it was copyrighted.
Really? You couldn't watch it?
But I signed up for Disney Plus.
Okay, so there's an episode of Bluey where the dad tells them a story about his childhood in the 80s. It's my favorite Bluey, hands down. And I love it because his brothers jinx him so he can't talk. And then both the parents are like, I'm not saying your name. Sorry, bloke, you're dreaming. The parents are like, it's a good start. How do I get all three of you to shut up? You guys are going to love it.
There's an episode of The Simpsons that I always loved where Bart's been jinxed and he comes to Homer and he's just like pointing at himself.
Say my name.
And Homer's like, what is it, my son? What do you need, my lad? Besides him.
You're right.
He's like, why aren't you speaking? And finally Bart just gets frustrated. He goes, because I'm jinxed, damn it. And Homer just slugs him in the arm.
You're not supposed
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
He knew all along.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. I've thought about this a couple different times, and then today,
It's just a little gel. Just kind of work it in. That's all. It's nothing big.
yeah, that's what it was. Be sure you don't buy that at Walmart. You sent me a picture today. We saw a doppelganger.
Don't talk about this.
No. This is off subject to that. But however, this is, and it's how do I describe it? It's like, I thought about this, like old tradition and what starts it and how it breaks and like how you feel like to bring this to bring it to light. You sent me a picture of a guy at church wearing a hat.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people, especially like the old timers and whatnot, will tell you that's just awful to see someone wearing a hat inside church.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen this numerous times in the past couple of years, even to the point where I'm like, well, man, that would just be a lot of, like, can I wear a hat to church? Like, I've thought about it, and I can't bring myself to do it. I'm like, well, can I just do that? They're doing it. And I'm like, it's so weird that that's instilled in me. Like, I'm like, I can't do it because I can do it.
Right.
Like, and no one would even, but me would even probably even be thinking, but how these things get started in the first place and then how they're, you know what I mean?
Well, we can.
If this
dive
guy
on
would have
that
came
one.
to my church when I was a kid at the United Baptist Church where I grew up,
They just said, "Sir, first thing you got to do is get that hat on."
right? Like as soon as he stepped in, it'd been like, ho, ho, ho.
Wait a minute
ho.
now.
And it's still probably not acceptable in a lot of churches.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, today, people wear shorts at my church and all these, like adults. Adults. So I think anything kind of goes in a lot of churches. But the question of why, where did it come from? It's such the idea of being so respectful. Like you take, go back 100 years. I mean, you took your hat off when a woman walked into the world, much less going in the house of God.
I believe I actually got so interested in this a while back that I actually looked it up. And of course, this was just me searching something on the internet. So who's to say? But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when I looked it up, it was something having to do with, of course, back in the day, whenever that would have started, it was a thing to where, the majority of men, for most part, were just always doing back-breaking labor. Also, and if there was work, there wasn't like you went to work at a telemarketing place or you went to work at a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
If anyone working, quote unquote working, was out there in the dirt, the muck, yada yada, and they're out there with their
Farming.
hats on. So when they came into even someone's house, they removed it as almost like a sanitary thing.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So
I'm not on the farm.
right,
digging dirt.
like with this,
I'm in this nice house.
like, or it's my hat is filthy, sort of thing. However, but who knows?
No, I think that's probably not far off. I mean, it probably, it evolved.
Like you sat down at the table, like those same people at the church have been like, you sat down at the dinner table wearing
With a hat.
a baseball hat,
Right. And a baseball hat would be dirty because you've been out working all day. And it might drop in the food or something.
Right.
I think it evolves into something else. I mean, gosh, you go back so many years, like women, when they were pregnant, like you just would go away. You wouldn't be seen. You wouldn't go into public like that. And
Hell yeah.
bizarre things like that. And it comes from somewhere. And then slowly and steadily, people are like, you know what? That's really, of all the things going on, let's not worry about that.
Well, think about handshaking. How weird that gets. Like, we started doing that, and then it was like totally disrespectful if you met someone new and didn't give them a good handshake. And now
You
we're
better
like,
not.
well, don't shake their hand because that's not,
You're going to get sick.
right.
Or you're going to make them sick. Either one.
Is there any kind of traditional thing like that, like a traditional like social type of gobbledygook that you wish could be done away with, like completely, like something that like you just
I've got one.
Okay.
I do too.
So this is something that makes me so uncomfortable. I hate it. And I didn't really have to experience it much until I started working at my current place. And it's the whole, like, I see somebody I know and they say, hey, how are you doing? And then I have to answer back because for a while I was confused and thought they actually care about how I'm doing. And they don't.
It's a formality.
Yeah, and that is a social construct that I wish didn't exist. Like, I don't care to, like, give somebody the head nod or wave at them or acknowledge, hey, we both see each other and we both know each other. That
You got to go into it. You got to do a little dance.
There is nothing more socially that I hate more than that.
Well, I tell you how to stop that. You just start going really in depth about everything. Like, even if it's not true, just be like, well, my wife left me last night. I have no idea. I can't pay my mortgage.
She was backing off.
Do not ask that guy
I
how
just
he's
didn't
doing.
want to.
Every time somebody does this, like I had to practice it for a long time because it would always be like whatever they would say to me, I would repeat back to them. And it would just be so awkward, or I would say something stupid, or like, do you remember when we worked together, like a certain person would come into our office and it would be morning and I'd be like, hey, good afternoon. Or
Because you're so nervous
Yeah.
about it.
What if you were like, God, I wish you would do.
I hate it.
I wish
God, I hate it.
It would be great if you were just keep that composure of how you have to respond, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? None of your business," and just keep walking. That would be amazing. I bet they wouldn't do it again. After
If you had residuals from friends' appearances, you could do that.
I have to
gotta get
exist
paid.
in the world. That is one thing that I love about the place that I work now is there is no like there's very little common area that I have to interact with people. So like I sit in a dark room all day and I don't have to walk halls and see people that, especially like the thing that really used to drive me crazy because the place we worked is kind of a circle. So if somebody, you could be going somewhere, they could be going somewhere.
See them again in 3 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you do then? Do I just pretend like you don't exist?
Yeah,
gotta pee again, huh?
No, your how do you do? It has a shelf limit.
Yeah.
It's a 30-minute shelf time. You don't ask them again in 30 minutes. 45 minutes comes, you see them again. Hey, how's it going? It might have changed.
Yeah.
You've made 2 laps around this
Yeah.
place. It's probably going bad now.
I think it's just like getting saved by Spider-Man, man. I mean, everybody gets one. I mean, it's totally fine if you see someone 9 o'clock in the morning, you're like, hey, how are you? You know, how's it going? That's fine. But after that, you don't have to.
Yeah, in the truth, it's probably once a day.
Yeah.
It's probably you see them the next day. Hey, how you doing today? Did you?
Right.
I got to the point
Did your
where
wife leave you today last night?
I got to the point
Anybody
there.
die?
Anybody die yesterday? I hope not.
I got to the point there at the end that like I would just pretend like I didn't see people, or I would have my phone out and my face in
You
it.
just
like,
always have your phone to your ears. You're walking through.
yeah,
the
like
hall.
or I'd have a laptop and I would open it and start typing on it, and it wouldn't even be booted up. Like I would just pretend like I was typing on it, so I wouldn't have to make eye contact with people.
Yes, sir. I'll be right there.
So when I was in a rock and roll band and trying to do all that in my early 20s, there was this thing they had every year called the Atlantis Music Conference.
Atlantis.
Yeah, it was in Atlanta, but it was called the Atlantis Music Conference, and
The
basically
Atlantis
what it
Music
is
Conference. Sounds cool.
is it's all throughout town, and it's like basically at every club. And we actually tried to get in this before we even moved there. Like you got to pay to get in, you have to be accepted, blah blah blah. And it's one of those deals to where like this weekend, Thursday through Sunday, whatever, wherever you're playing. excuse me. The hope is there's a lot of industry in town for the weekend scouting new artists, and people are going to get record deals and signed and yada yada. So we played that a few times. I was at a club one time, and you see, and it's just as funny as it is to watch the guys in bands trying to impress everyone. It's equally as funny to see the guys that think they're in the business that are like trying to, you know, exactly. And they're so this dude, I see this guy coming to the club, and it's early in the night. It's like there's no music going or anything yet. But he's getting there and he's putting it out there that he is a very important dude. And he walks in and he's just walking around pacing on his phone. And everyone's just kind of watching him. Suddenly, his phone rings.
He was not on a call.
Not on it at all. And it was just such the. Oh yeah, it was very very awkward and gross. That was I always loved that. But I have 2 of the social bull crap that I would just like to demolish. A is
Yeah, really.
A is I hate God bless you when people sneeze.
You like gazoon?
I don't like it. It's just all of it.
I just
Like
say
I
bless
don't
you.
understand the whole.
If you look back at that, I've actually done that before. That has something to do with, I don't know, the Black Death or something. It goes back into the 1600s.
That's all fine, but we know that that's not the case now. It's just what it's like, especially when you're in a like if. And my wife,
somebody sneezes, just tell them to screw off.
I just don't know. You just don't say anything. Like it's not required. I
Say-
just don't. It's like, you know, me and my wife, if we're at the house all day, every day together, and if she's walking around and she sneezes, I just don't need to say anything, or vice versa.
Get that away from me.
No, it's just it's so.
I think it depends on how you're raised. My grandma was real into superstition, so
right.
It's like a habit that's ingrained into me. Like I can't not say it.
Somehow I even understand that more than the whole bless you from sneezing. Like I understand that some people have a hang up and about, you know, like, oh, you can't walk under the ladder or what have you. But
Yeah, I don't believe in superstition at all, but I can't
think
do
it's
those
I
things.
just think the whole bless you when someone sneezes is just a strange kind of. I don't know.
I don't think people mean it literally.
No, I know that. I just find it annoying. I don't know why it bothers me.
I would file this under the doesn't really hurt. Takes a second. It's not like the how you doing? Oh, pretty good. You played golf yesterday.
Why?
That takes 3 minutes.
That's bullcrap. So does how you doing? Great. Why is someone stopping and saying bless you or God bless you or Gesundheit? Why does that take any less of your time than? Hey,
It takes a lot less time than to do the how's the golf game dance.
no. I'm not talking about that. But if someone says how you doing? Great. How are you? That's just as easy as
God bless you.
yeah.
I guess I just don't mind it. I think thanks for asking that.
It's less socially awkward to me to say bless you because I can just say it and go on. I don't have to make eye contact. I don't have to practice the thing I'm saying.
You're not invested.
Yeah.
You're not invested.
And I don't say it to strangers. I mean, you know, if
Lots of people do.
I don't. I think that's intrusive.
Lots of people do. And I'm just saying.
Don't bless my sneezes. You
Putting
don't
it
I
out
know.
always
here.
say Jehovah God bless you.
You just hit your knees and start praying for him immediately. Just,
Bless your,
Hand
wicked
on their
soul.
shoulder. Dear Lord, this sneezing man here, this stranger.
just so you guys know, if you guys ever sneeze, I'm not being rude, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah. I don't
This one though, this will really, the happy birthday song. I'm out.
Happy birthday. You don't want to sing happy birthday to somebody.
No.
Then
that is
you
just-
are
if you-
automatically uninvited.
That
If
is
you
just
are-
plain rude.
If you are 2 years old, that's fine. Like, I get it. If you're a little kid and you're sitting there and your
But if you're 10,
eyes are
still-
sparkling, what have you.
so what's the
it's-
age limit on it?
Yeah. 10 years old, you got to sing to a 10-year-old.
I'm mainly,
You're old now.
I'm mainly-
Go wash the dishes.
I'm mainly talking about adults here. Children. This is totally not for children. I'm talking about. I've been to many a birthday party for a 30-year-old man, and we all have to stand there awkwardly and happy birthday.
Well,
That's
when it goes quiet, do the cha-cha-cha.
and I don't want
birthday
anyone
to
doing
you,
it for me.
cha-cha-cha.
And I don't want anyone to do it for me.
It's-
I feel awkward while you're doing it.
Yeah, everybody feels awkward. It's
So stop it.
it's a
Way
So
to
stop.
feel awkward together.
It's
no,
a- it's
just
a
stop
social
it. Just cut it out, and
event.
we'll all be better for it.
it's a celebration of your birthday.
We're
I
already
want
there
sang to.
celebrating. We're already there. We brought you a cake. Here's a gift.
I want my song.
Well, then play the Ramones. Put
I'm
it
like
on.
Brad Pitt in Inglorious Bastards. I want my scalps. I want my
So
songs.
someone play it on a phone or do something like it's.
Or you can just be silent, be rude. I mean,
I'm gonna. I'm gonna.
I'm not
I'm
singing
gonna
it.
start making a scene out of it.
make sure you
actually.
put two
la
fingers-
la 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 la.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, yeah, that's. Yeah, I just hate it. I just think it's awful.
hum punk songs.
That's a weird hill to die on.
Yeah, right.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. I am. That's my hill.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Now, I mean, I
That's
could.
fine. That's great. Someone, wishing someone a happy birthday. That's great. A child, I get it. You get the happy birthday song.
It's not
You get
Christmas.
My birthday's not happy. I don't want it to be wished to be happy.
Now, I will admit, like,
Get out of here.
I've got some weird issues about my birthday. Like, I don't know what it is.
I would be happy for nothing to be done for my birthday. I that's the way I kind of.
I have a very strange hang up about my birthday. Like, it puts me in a really weird mood or weird headspace. Like,
You want to like crawl in a hole and just.
But you still want someone to sing to.
yeah, like, it's this. I mean,
You're
you're.
crawling here, but don't feel like you can't sing to me.
I mean, honestly, you're not far off. Like, it's this real. It's the thing that I struggle with because it's like I get offended and hurt if nobody does anything, but at the same time, I don't want anybody to do anything.
I more than anyone in this world, I relate and feel like I see. I totally get that. I totally get that.
It's like I want you to care about it, but don't do anything about it. Like,
There's a culture on Earth that it might be China, where everybody New Year's Day is everybody's birthday.
that's dumb.
Sounds like you would love it. It would just be you'd be lost in a crowd.
Love how quick it was.
That's terrible.
Screw that.
I want something to rebel against and to be depressed about.
I mean, I knew somebody that had their birthday on Christmas, and she was always like, "How
My
can
wife's
you?"
birthday is the day after Christmas.
Yeah,
so
or-
she was totally like, "This is your Christmas and your birthday."
Yeah.
Hey, this little sock.
How can you? How can you ever compete with Jesus for your birthday ever?
Well, you just go after. You go the day after.
Apparently, that doesn't work. I've known a lot of people that had birthdays close to Christmas. Now, that's one thing I've been fortunate about. Like, mine's in June, it's 6 months between both places or both holidays.
Mine's lined up with Thanksgiving a lot, so people just come over for Thanksgiving. Oh, happy birthday!
So's my wife's.
Your birthday is nothing to be thankful for.
You're talking to me.
I mean, that was
It's a joke, dude.
that was just odd. That was oddly specific, and only
Who cares
directed
about
to
your
one
birthday?
person.
I've
Guess what? I'm coming to your birthday to sing Happy Birthday.
Did
That's how much I hate you.
Did I not bring you? If I'm not mistaken, I
Could we
believe I
make up a
even-
colonoscopy song? That way, when I get one, we
I'm
can
not-
all sing it.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I brought you birthday gifts your last birthday.
You did.
Okay,
It
so
was a
obviously,
Def Leppard shirt.
So
and
obviously,
I mowed the grass, and I had it on yesterday. I remember looking down. You called me, and I was weed whacking.
so obviously, I cared about it. What'd you get him for his birthday?
Nothing last year.
Okay, so
But the year before,
that was really rude of you.
the year before, I got him an Aerosmith album.
That's true. You did get me an Aerosmith pump.
Yeah,
You're still rude.
One of my
this
that's
past year.
hands down my favorite Aerosmith album.
which is why I got it. That's another thing that I really truly suck at as a person is like my wife will mentally register things that people say like I like this or this is my favorite thing or these things are special to me, and like I'll hear those things, and if somebody's like, hey, I like this thing, and I'll remember that you said that, but I don't keep a running tally of that. So when it comes
Keep
to
a note in my phone for my wife.
that's what I had to start doing.
Yeah, if she says something like, "Oh, that's kind of nice," I'm like, "Oh gosh, I put that in the note." I will never remember it 2 days later.
I'm just very bad at gift
I can't
giving.
buy it till like 3 days before I need it.
I do that
because
stuff
she'll
and
see it.
I do that, but and also I've found this. This is I don't know much about being a good husband and all that stuff. But one thing I found that does work that my wife seems to appreciate is like I will pick up on little stuff like that, but I almost even find that Christmas, birthdays, and all that stuff's all well and good. But if you just show up on a random Wednesday and just be like, "Hey, I was thinking about you,"
Yep.
got you, like that's almost
That
kinda-
probably would
If
work.
you guys share a grocery list, I'm giving away my secret here. Janet, your mom's calling.
What?
I'm telling my wife to tune out of the podcast if she's tuned in. She's going to hear my secret.
Oh,
You share a grocery list?
Oh yeah.
With your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
We both have the same Walmart account.
Okay. Oh, so like you add stuff to the list and you see what she adds and all that?
Yes.
So we do that. So, but like if you hear her say, "Man, I really need this," or "I'd like this," and it's not on the list and you get it. That's gold.
that's
you
good.
got a secret
That's good.
list. You don't add it to the
you
list because
listen.
then she sees it. You add it to the list. You add it to the secret list, and then you're like, "I remember you wanted this."
because you listen.
Yeah. Well,
Huh.
I mean, I tune in and out.
Yeah.
My entire life, my
That's-
entire day.
That has been the whole problem is I tuned out at some point and just never tuned back in.
I wanted you guys with me so bad the other night. Doug's band was playing in Ashland. This was two nights ago. Yeah,
Where'd they
Thursday.
play?
This little outside, like it's kind of like Ashland's little Pullman, but like half
I know
the
exactly
size.
what you're talking about. Yep.
So they're playing there, and I take the wife and the kids. We're going down Winchester and going by the Paramount Theater, and I see this enormous line of people waiting to get in. And then I look, and they are the most awesome / hilarious people waiting to get in.
Why?
And it was for Great White and Slaughter.
How is Great White
At
still a
the
band?
Paramount, and dude, when I saw these people
Wait a
waiting
minute.
in
They
line,
played Great White and
Thursday.
Slaughter.
Would you ever see
Thursday.
Great White indoors ever?
after their pyro killed 10 people? I
dude,
think.
when I
100.
saw, when I
100 people
saw-
died at that.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yes. 100 people died in
being
it.
that.
Because I mean, you think if this was a tiny place and it's not just the fire, they get trampled trying to get out.
Because it was a tiny little club, and once it started, once it went up, like there was nowhere for anybody to go.
When you saw these people waiting to get in, I immediately looked at my wife and I said, I would give anything for Wes and Andy to be here with me, because if we could just interview some of these people. I mean, these people
What's the hit
were
you're coming?
60 and ready to rock.
60 years old, really?
I mean, dude, they were, yeah, and they were like the big hair still, but it was all white. And they were all wearing Kiss shirts from Walmart, and they all had a beard that went midway down the Kiss shirt, and they were ready to go.
It
What was
killed
the-
100 people and injured 230.
God, that's awful. I can't believe they had 330 people at their show. That's amazing. What was the Great White hit? You guys remember
Once
that?
bitten, twice shy,
Bitten,
which was a
Twice Shy.
cover.
Oh, it was a cover. That's right.
Yeah.
my first band I was ever in when I was in 7th grade. We played Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
Good song.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what it meant, but there was just something about that song that I loved.
Do you remember that band Days of the New?
Oh God.
I remember
Finally found a reason I
gosh,
don't
quit.
A friend,
You can't
my
sing
friend
that.
Danny said once. He said, if you like Alice in Chains Unplugged, you'll love Alice in Chains Unplugged, the band.
Oh gosh, there's a Christian band called Third Day. Who told
There
me?
is. I've spent time with them, and I was in the studio when they were
Were you?
recording. Yeah.
Well, they told me their first album they put out, they had a photo shoot on top of a roof, and the photographer said, "Okay, look like a band, look like a band."
I
always loved that
remember
funny- that
remember
story.
being at a photo shoot for doing band pictures, and as soon as we got in front of the camera, the guy taking the picture said, "All right, who smokes? Light them up."
we gotta engineer this picture.
Yeah.
There's a place downtown
Smoke them if you got them.
that we took promo pics at, and
yeah.
every single time I pass it, I think about
about
our
that.
faces in the glass of the doors, or us sitting on the stairs.
I know exactly. Those
I
pictures
worked
you're
there in later years. I actually worked upstairs. I would walk that stairway up to go to work.
Did you think every day when you passed
every
it?
time. Yeah, the elevator. We took pictures in the elevator, and I would
Yeah,
ride that
that's right.
elevator up.
Well, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and further, and let's not do it today, but let's go ahead and set this up for coming up next episode we do. Let's all three take the time and let's do our picks for top 5 apiece of Christian bands from that era and stuff. We'll do that next time for the people that do
episode
like that
called
stuff.
The Skipper.
Yeah.
Just skip this.
No,
one.
it'll take 10 minutes. It'll take 10 minutes.
I mean, I wanted to
do
do
that.
a top 5 of my favorite bands of all time. I mean, I think that would be a very interesting.
Now you talk about a
conversation.
skipper.
Let's just do that now. What you just said. Give me your top 5 bands ever.
My top 5.
Oh,
In
Lord.
order, I had these sorted out.
You're gonna I mean, that's fine, but you'll change it in your car on the way home.
No, I won't change it because
Should've thought of
these are
this.
these are the top 5 that I listen to. I would probably put Catherine Will number 5.
Really?
Yes.
They're in the top 5, huh?
Hang on. Don't interrupt me. You're screwing up my train of thought. Let's see. Who is number 4? Oh,
This is like his funeral list where it's just like, oh, I
There's-
mean, I thought of that band and I don't hate
no,
them. So they're my
no.
best. They're my favorite.
there's a lot of thought that went into this.
All right, I'm really
Go for it.
riveting
Go for it.
here.
I'll shut up.
Riveted. I want
Okay.
to get number 4.
Number 4 is Interpol. I know you guys don't like them, but I've always loved them.
You can have whoever you want in your top 5. No reason.
Number 3
It's your funeral.
What's number 3?
Can I finish my thought, please?
Try it.
Number 3 is probably the Posies. Number 2 would be Jimmy Eat World. And
Number 1.
Number 1 is, and you guys are gonna make fun of me for
Allman
this.
Brothers.
It's not the Allman Brothers. It's probably Death Cab for Cutie.
Really?
Oh my god!
Are you kidding? Number 1?
I listen to their albums more than I do any other band.
Wes, is there anyone else that you know that would enjoy doing a podcast with us?
I just random guy off the street. Have you heard of Death Cat for Cutie? No, I haven't heard of him. Come on in.
Excuse me, hobo sir.
So, so in my defense, most people that have heard of them, I've heard of their hits, and once I got past that and the stigma, I mean,
Of what being a Death Cat for Cutie.
some of their albums
Lover.
are just fantastic, and you guys like stuff I don't like. That's the thing
very
that I
true.
like.
That's very true. I mean, you're gonna now. That's an order?
That's an order, and I really struggled between putting Catherine Wheel and Superdrag number 5.
Okay.
But Catherine Wheel has
Can
more
I,
of an
Superdrag's
emotion.
not even- okay. Can I do it but not put? Can I do it without them being in order?
I was not going to do an order for me
'Cause I
either.
can't.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
that's
It's cool that you can do an
it's
order.
gonna
I
be
can't
hard
do it.
enough to do.
That's the only way I can do a top 5. Catherine Wheel had more of an emotional attachment to me than Superdrag. I mean, I love Superdrag, but there's just Adam and Eve. I mean, there's not a Superdrag album to me that's better than Adam and Eve in terms of memory for me.
wow.
Well, I'll do my top 5.
Okay.
Not in order. Superdrag, the Beach Boys,
Oh yeah, I knew that was going to be there.
the Replacements. If there probably is a number 1, slot, it's the Replacements. Man,
It's real.
I have
it's real
trouble
tough.
doing two more. I really do. Probably King's X is in the top 5.
Really?
Yeah, because again, I like what you said about I can't help this. This is who I listen to.
Yeah.
And whether I'm coming up with my top 5 or whatever. If I think about what do I turn on, what do I listen to, it's Superdrag, the Beach Boys.
She does not approve.
No. Replacements.
Probably
Paul
because
Westerberg.
everyone just found out her dad likes Death Cab for Cutie.
She's heard a ton of Death Cab songs.
And then I would probably put Matthew Sweet in there. And
Really? I would have.
yeah.
I would have. If I had to guess your top, that was gonna be the other thing I was gonna do. Is like
Try
we
to
should
guess.
Try to
Oh.
guess each other's top 5.
Sorry,
and
we
I
could've done
wouldn't
that.
have gotten one. No, I would have got the Replacements right.
Yeah.
But the others, I would have definitely.
See, okay,
no
so-
Posies on your list.
Well, Posies
I
and
feel
then
betrayed.
Yeah, that's
Look, Posies and then Toad the Wet Sprocket. I'm sitting here like doing this as a, so I don't know. I could drop the Beach Boys out or something. I don't know because it's hard to do a
I
5.
think that there's a difference though between my favorite band and what I always turn on because like Nevermind obviously is a great record. I don't ever want to hear Nevermind again. Like I can't. It's like I've played it so much. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. But I mean,
Never been a big Nirvana fan. I mean, I get why they're.
well, I'm not saying I am either. I'm just saying. But back when I was in the 7th grade, that's all I listened to. And I'm not saying that record's terrible now, but I can't take hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I like one song off that.
The Big Picture is probably my favorite King's X song.
Oh yeah, it's a great song. Yeah, I see. Like I like a lot of bands too. Like I could not put them in the top 5. I mean, when I think of top 5, I think of the last 30 years. So I really do believe Posies have to be in the list. Superdrag, Posies, Beach Boys, Replacements, King's X. That's 5, and that's like if I had to go to a desert island and take 5 artists, I
That's
could
who
do
you take.
that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Josh is gonna be Green Day, Green Day, Green Day. Ben Affleck singing Green Day.
Green Day is definitely on my list.
It'd have to be.
But I
Do
don't.
you play it?
Never.
Okay.
No,
well,
I may like no.
Is that one of
It's
those
been a
things you've
long
just
time.
heard too much? Like you.
And I haven't been too thrilled with like the last like 2 records. But I have to get them and hear them. But it's just and it's my age. I mean, it's everything.
that's kind of the Posies for me. Like I don't turn them on all the time, but I mean, I'll get in a hitch and I'll be for 3 or 4 days. I'll just listen to all 5, 6 albums. And,
Some of the most meaningful like lyrics and stuff like gets to me. But like it's I don't know. Just they're on my list. No kiss. Green Day, Superdrag, the Posies, Toad the Wet Sprocket,
Really?
Oasis.
Oasis.
Oasis,
You like
really?
Oasis, yeah.
Love Oasis.
I think I love Oasis, and then I listen to a couple of songs. And I'm like,
Now I could sit here and tell you 10 more that are equal. Like as far
So
as
Oasis, I can put on once a year and listen to the handful of songs that I like on What's the Story, Morning Glory, and it's like, okay, I had Oasis
I got my
hour
fill.
for a year.
Definitely,
even,
maybe.
not
I
even
like.
near the best album. Morning Glory isn't.
Yeah.
Liam Gallagher's new has like 3 to 4 solo records now that are great.
You talk about that.
I'm not
It's
into
hard.
Noel's stuff. I'm
It's
not
hard
really
for
into
me.
Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, but Liam's stuff is really good.
Some of your things surprised me, and some
See,
didn't.
So then you get into the Tom Petty and Springsteen. Like those
Sure.
have got to be in there too.
Tom Petty's better than all 5 of those bands I just named, but he's not on my list.
that's another artist that I know people love, and I
I brought
appreciate
this up on like
nobody
3 different
put
episodes.
nobody put
and
you
it
two
just-
on their list.
You've already
nobody. I could put you two on
no,
my.
no
I could bring
way.
you two in.
I mean, I
Anywhere
love
near
all
my
those
list.
songs. I love Joshua
know-
Tree and Octoon Baby.
I think really there's just got to be a top 10. I just don't think it's fair because I'd put U2, Van Halen, The Violent Burning, Tom Petty, and Springsteen, and there's my top 10 of life.
if I had to add 5 more, it would be Superdrag.
Nobody said Weezer. Nobody said Weezer. Okay, I got to put Weezer in there somewhere.
This is not.
Gosh,
this is not
crazy.
This is not.
These are
good
not
list.
top 10 artists. Now, Pinkerton is a top 10 album,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't
Well,
consider them an artist.
I like I like songs off every Weezer album. There's not one album they put out I don't like 2 or 3 songs off of.
That's dumb.
So if I had to go add more bands, it would be The Violet Burning,
Yeah.
Prayer Chain, Superdrag, Now,
White Reaper.
Definitely not White Reaper.
I love White Reaper. 3 full lengths that are great. Almost no skippers. We're all sitting here flipping through our lists.
Guns and freaking Roses.
They don't make my list. They had, just
so
a handful of good
stupid.
songs.
You're so stupid.
They had 2 albums that you could condense into an EP
the
of good
Helicopters.
songs.
I have the Helicopters album tattooed on my arm, and it's not on my list.
Oh, Jane's Addiction.
Ew.
You want to make Josh gag. Jane says.
Nobody.
Tears for Fears.
Nobody should.
Tears for Fears is a wonderful artist, but how many songs? There's 2 on Songs from the Big Chair.
Yeah.
Shout. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and the 3rd single that they did off that is good. And Mothers, whatever it's called, Mothers. And then the next album was called Sowing the Seeds of Love, which had 1
I
hit.
love that one. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Take them off. The Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins had several good albums.
I listen to them still weekly. Siamese Dream, Gish, even Melancholy. I mean,
Nobody's mentioned The Cure. We can't do top 5s and top 10s. Not the 3 of us. They don't fit.
I love
You
The
mean-
Cure, but I don't.
You mean exactly what I said before we did the list? And
Yes.
You were like, no, we can do it. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I think
Okay, let's not do it.
I think you have lists based on what the criteria is. Is it how often do you listen to them? What do they mean to you? Who do you think's the best? I mean, you can have different lists based on those different criteria.
You know what's better than trying to make a list of your favorite bands?
Making fun of your list?
Playing a game.
Oh, let's hear it.
So we got a game we're going to play. It's going to be called Wild Wonderful What? It's going to be the name of this game. These are going to be questions about the state of West Virginia.
Oh.
Okay.
Multiple choice, and you guys are going to see how much you guys know about our wild, wonderful state.
About coal.
These are
massacres.
no. These are laws about our state
Laws about our state. Okay.
and rules and regulations, just and some fun facts.
Okay.
But, you
I
know.
know.
Hit us.
I know one of them that is probably in your list.
Hit us. Hit us.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I think we should talk like this the whole time we do it. Just
I agree with you.
all right. Read them. Read the questions if you can read.
How about I will? I'll do that because that'd just be too much if we're all doing it. But I'll read the questions like that, but you guys can answer them.
All right.
In the counties of Clay and Calhoun, you will not find A, firefighters, B, any chain businesses whatsoever, C, traffic lights, or D, a dentist.
Man, Calhoun County. I want to say Dennis
Clay
because
and Calhoun.
Clay and Calhoun. I want to say Dennis because that would be the funniest. But I bet it's a chain restaurant. That's my bet. What do you say?
Was that the definition of chain restaurant or chain business?
Chain business, like a Walmart, anything like that.
I bet it's a chain business. That's my bet.
That's my answer too. Is
Okay.
B.
B, final answers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer is C, traffic lights, boys.
I know when to go. Don't you tell me when to go.
You went first yesterday. This is my time.
Don't you tell me when I can go. I'm going. I'm gonna dodge ram
Whether
this
you
right
like it or
up your
not, you
tail.
better hide behind the old outhouse and watch, son.
We've
It's
just
cable.
alienated 5 of our 15 listeners.
No, they're laughing. All right, next question.
Are you ready?
All right.
I'm not going to read in that accent. It's just too.
It was enough.
The residents of the city, Mountain, West Virginia. Mountain, West Virginia is a city. Those people, the members, the residents in that city banded together to acquire that name for the city. And what was its previous name? A, Wide Holler. B, Molehill. C, Sidewinder. Or D, Big Burger.
It's definitely Molehill.
It's either Molehill or the first one, which was what was the first one?
Wide Holler.
I don't. Okay,
It's definitely Molehill. That's being around enough country people. I can see somebody be like, "We're gonna make a mountain out of this molehill."
all right, I'm gonna be the outlier. I'm gonna go with Sidewinder.
Sidewinder.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
They literally made a mountain out of a molehill.
I knew it. I can hear somebody coming up with that out of
We
you.
made a mountain out of a molehill. Did you see that? Oh boy, what tell you
We
what.
banded together, and it's what it's a good day. It's proud to be here.
We corrected a wrong. We ain't no molehill. We're the mountain
I'm
here.
gonna sleep fine tonight.
That's like everything in Charleston is Advantage Valley. You ever heard that? You know? Advantage. It's like
there's no advantage to living there, but if we say it and put it on every business, then people will start thinking, oh, we have an advantage of living here. There is none. I'm kidding. There's plenty of
The advantage is you're not in Huntington. Question number 3. No. I'll skip this. Okay. Question number 3. In the state of West Virginia, it's illegal to do which of the following on a train?
I don't think you can say this. We're not trying to be the adult.
No.
I got kicked off a train for
Who got kicked off a train for doing the following? Give us the 4 choices.
A, sleep. B, be on a cell phone. C, write or draw. Or D, recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I think it's B, be on a cell phone. That's what I'm going with. What do you think?
Tell me again.
It's illegal to do which of the following on a train
Yeah, I got that
in the
part.
state of West Virginia? A, sleep. B, be on a cell phone. C, write or draw. Or D, recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm going to say write or draw. Because if the train suddenly comes to a stop, you could jab yourself or somebody.
I think it's the cell phone thing. It's the same as being in a plane. They think it's going to interfere with some electronic equipment and cause a big problem.
You could be right about that, too, because there's
Train
a lot
ain't
of...
got no electric, son.
Yes, they do.
They do
Boy,
along the
boy,
tracks.
they do.
Okay.
And they got to do all kinds of stuff with it.
Is that
Probably
these
radio.
guys' answers?
They got them a radio.
Is that your answer?
Yep.
Yeah.
The answer is A, sleep.
What?
Why?
Now, let me throw you another Let me throw you another curveball.
Because there ain't
here.
no place in West Virginia you're going to be on a train long enough to sleep.
Let me throw you another curveball here too. The first class customers, they sit in sleeper cars.
Yeah, there's all kinds of train
I know.
tours
But
that
in
go
the
from...
state of West Virginia, it
Yeah.
is actually illegal to sleep on a train.
Why?
That's ridiculous.
Hey, I'm just here with the question, son. I didn't make these rules.
If I found that, I would have to know the answer to that. Why? That is the dumbest thing I've ever... I mean, that is a West Virginia type of law.
Whoever has their hand on that is like, that was me right there. That was my contribution.
that would also make it illegal. That would also make it illegal to listen to Death Cab for Cutie on the train because
you
those
couldn't
guys
stay
are
awake.
out.
I got to tell you, for $1 million, $1 million, I couldn't name a Death Cab for Cutie song,
No.
member, album, nothing.
I mean, that's cool.
I wouldn't listen to one for $1 million.
No, I would.
I played songs for you
I
before.
know. I'd listen to it for no money, just like Andy eating dog biscuits, but I don't know anything
I
about
would
it.
rather eat a dog biscuit.
I mean, I don't listen to bands because I'm like, I wonder if my friends would like this.
You got to have approval, man.
I wish you did. I'd like to picture you sitting in your room being like, gee, golly, I hope
Hey, I was thinking about liking this, guys. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, you don't. So, okay. It is illegal in the state to do which of the following underwater?
That is also the same thing I do on the train.
A, fish.
Underwater.
B, go doo-doo. C, sign language. Or D, whistle.
Okay, so it's not C or D. It's either A or B. I mean, it might be take a deuce. But
It's definitely the poop because Jim Bob did that at some point, and they made a law to stop him.
actually, I'm going with the fish because
How can you fish underwater?
you can like dynamite and stuff like that. You're not supposed to let off.
I'm thinking of like
explosives
Scuba
underwater.
Steve down there with a harpoon, like that kind of fishing.
I'm going with water. I'm going with water. What you're going with?
You're going
the
with
poop.
water. What do you mean water?
Underwater. I'm
Fi-
going with
you're
underwater.
going fishing.
Fishing
Fish.
underwater.
Okay, gotcha.
And Andy's going with poop. Who won?
The answer is D, whistle. And it's also impossible.
Ridiculous.
Because you would just drown.
That's the only reason I can imagine because, like, man, these people keep going down there and
So-
trying to whistle and they ain't coming
It
back.
sounds
up.
like us being in a little town where, like, what ridiculous law can we pass just to troll everybody?
Right.
The fact that this exists.
Yeah.
To
He
get us-
tried whistling. I was down there with him. I didn't hear a single sound come out of his lips. That should be illegal.
Okay. Is there another one?
Yeah, a couple more. This. Okay, now remember we're doing a show here. Let me finish. I'm assuming that this is what you were bringing up.
Yeah.
And I knew this when I read it, but it's just if someone's listening, they're not from West Virginia. They don't know. So
Yeah, we got international listeners.
That's
apparently.
right.
we
have,
do. We do. Thank you, people of Toledo.
Germany and
I've seen like Singapore, or not Singapore, but some Asian-esque country.
Norway. There were some Norway.
That's
listeners.
not Asian.
I didn't say. I'm just saying international listeners. There's Norway. Yeah.
I was wanting to say let's raise it in a very stereotypical Asian accent, but I didn't because Edit West is just going to edit
I'm just going to edit that out. Yeah, I'm not going to let that fly.
It is perfectly legal to do which of the following in West Virginia so long as it's Sunday and on the courthouse steps?
I can answer this without even the choice, but I'll see if you know what the
A,
answer is.
gamble. B, solicit prostitution. C, beat your wife. Or D, prepare moonshine.
Unfortunately, I know it to be C. Beat your wife. I
Isn't
don't
it
know.
awesome? I mean, not that that's awesome that you can do that. I'm saying, but like,
I am
is that-
taking you to the courthouse tomorrow if you don't show
How many times do you think just some backwards bebob is sit there and be like, you just wait till Sunday. Keep talking.
Coffee right now is in Nashville going, we are moving to West Virginia.
I know where we're taking our honeymoon, by God.
But why there? Like, it's not so much that it's still legal. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. But why there?
I just imagine like just seeing,
If I'm whooping you in front of a judge,
It's all right.
or like I just imagine like these people like trying to slyly like drive, like, well, we're just gonna take a drive. No, we're special. Just get in the car and let's
we're going to the perfume
Oh, you know
store.
where I need to go? I need to run by the courthouse real quick.
Step up here on this step.
Wait a minute, Hal.
Come
It's-
on.
Wait a
Come
minute,
in.
Hal. It's Sunday. I'm not going near the courthouse on Sunday with you.
And what courthouse is open on a Sunday?
I ain't
I don't
gonna
think it has to
pull
be
nothing.
open. You can just go
Yeah,
there and
well, yeah.
get it done, I guess.
You just
If
need
you're
the
just out in the
steps.
middle of the street, then it's assault. But on the steps, it's his loving discipline.
Wild and wonderful.
That's
for
wonderful.
Sure.
Okay, you ready?
Wild and wondrous. Go ahead.
I've been to this place. Behind a hidden wall beneath the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia, you can find A, a private movie theater, B, an adults only club, C, a secret bunker, or D, a chicken fighting facility.
Let's see
What was C?
the bunker.
Oh, yeah, it's probably a bunker. Yeah.
There's a bunker in the Greenbrier Resort that's prepared to take it's the U.S. Congress.
Yeah, they still it's
Congress
still
for
used
up to 40 days
Yeah.
in case of like a nuclear war or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've actually been to that place and it struck me as
Like
so.
you went into the bunker?
No.
just
The
the Greenbrier.
resort, and that's what's weird about it is because where were we at? We were on vacation somewhere with my family, like up at a cabin and like up wherever in West Virginia. And on the way home, the family had to stop by this resort. And this is something common that people do. Like they give these tours of the resort. And it's just real strange and funny to me because it's like there's people that are members of this resort, obviously, and they go there. And there's like literally like there's a playhouse in there. There's, tennis courts, there's pools, there's all this stuff, and there's people, and alongside the whole time, there's just
Tours of it.
hillbilly poor people that are like, dang,
Y'all get to hit that ball in that hole? I bet I could do that.
see him over there, Billy? Them's the best people around. Now, one day, Billy, if you work real hard,
You can
You
have
can
the Peterson
hang out
filtration
here.
system.
Yeah. It's just, I felt real awkward, like, just being there. Like, we literally, at one point, you're just stopping. You're like, yeah, there's a pool.
Yeah,
and
it's not like it's the White House where there's like powerful, famous people that live there.
no, it's just
It's
rich
just
people. and
Rich
you're
people
not-
in West Virginia.
and you're not.
This is as close to it as you're ever gonna get.
I agree
Look
with you.
at that yard.
Could you imagine being the people that are there? It's like, just don't look at them.
That's what I'm
John.
talking
Just
about.
don't
Like
look
you're
at 'em.
standing there and you're looking, and there's people in the pool. Like
They're probably
what?
pretending to talk on their cell phones, just like the guy in
Look at that
Atlanta.
big hole of water. There ain't
Yes,
no fish
I've
in there. nothing.
buy, sell again, buy again.
Look at him in there at the cement pond.
They're not taking a bath, washing no clothes, or fishing or
They's
nothing.
just having fun in there.
Each of them's got their own towel. See, I
bet-
told you.
I bet they're allowed to whistle underwater in there.
They're all. There's just bubbles going
Hey, thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, drop us a line at askandy@colormedad. That's DADD.com. We want to thank the good old boys at the OzarkMountainDaredevils.com for the killer bumper tune. Check them out. And check us out on the web at colormedad, that's DADD.com.